What's going on, everybody? Z here. Welcome back to some more Astroneer. So we have an update upon us. It came a lot earlier than we were expecting. Came out last night. It is actually 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm recording this. Starting recording at 2:30 in the morning. But yes, well, there's a whole bunch of little things. Basically, performance updates. Performance everything. Performance this, performance that, performance everything. But there's a few other little things that I want to touch on. So first, one of the coolest little deals is if you have an item, if you have a storage deal that's completely full, you have an item in your hand, you want to swap it, guess what? I can highlight this graphite. Boop. Guess what? Boom. I can swap it. No problemo. Now, if you were to put, say, a storage deal on here, and you wanted to do a similar thing, it doesn't work that way. So if your storage is completely full and there's no other where, like there's nowhere else for it to go, then you could just hover it, boop, 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 good to go. Now, also this might not be on Xbox and PlayStation yet. It just came out on PC last night. So yeah, it's a thing, but be looking for it. It should happen soon. So that's super cool and fun. Now let's also check. I actually haven't even checked this myself, to be completely honest. Actually, you know what? Let's just get rid of this stuff. So I am playing in creative mode, and that is because I wanted to test a few things. Firstly, will this go on here? No. Will this go on here? Those wonderful platform type A's that you absolutely love with, that you have to start with at every single time. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. I didn't even test it. I didn't even test it. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy that those things will shred. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. You can get rid of all your garbage platforms that you don't out. I love it so much. Oh, I love it so much. That is so great. Oh, man, that's absolutely amazing. But all right, so there's a few performance updates now. Some other controls to like rovers and stuff like that, like while in flight, I believe you can use our shift keys to control raw. To control roll now, and I believe it's the same thing for consoles. I believe it's like an X key or something like that. But you guys may have noticed something, and I feel like you probably did. I feel like you probably noticed it right off the bat, and if you didn't, well, you should have, because True Flat is essentially back. I say essentially because it's not exactly the same as it was before, and this is a little bit finicky. But do you guys notice my platforms? Do you guys notice how they're very seamlessly transitioned into the soil? Do you notice that you cannot see the connector connecting these platforms? Do you also notice that this platform, my gosh, what is that? That is an extra large platform type B, my friends. It is. Do you know what the extra large platform type B is? I hope you do, because it's one of the greatest platforms. It is this guy. What? How is that in there? True Flat, baby. True Flat. True Flat allows you to do things that you wouldn't otherwise be able to do. Now, I want to preface this by saying, I have only done this in creative mode. Getting the first True Flat is by far the most important and the hardest thing to do. And I have yet to try it in survival mode, and we will be trying it in survival mode, and I guarantee it will happen. It will happen. I don't care. I will do it. It'll happen. But getting the first initial True Flat is a huge deal. So let me start you off with that. Let's start off. Let's play with that. And I'll show you all this stuff once we get back over here, but let's just fly on over here. I'm gonna go to an area that I haven't even messed with yet. We'll go to like right here. Okay, so you're gonna have to get your first little True Flat area, and I'm gonna tell you right now, in creative mode, it's not terrible, because you can control your deform speed, your size, all that stuff. But I'm gonna try to do it because I believe 1 is the standard deform setting, and that is the best setting that I've found to get the True Flat to like kind of snap. And what I mean by snap is like it kind of like fits in and like makes the next little True Flat area. So I'm gonna try to do it in this. I haven't tried to do it in this before, but essentially what you're gonna kind of do is you're gonna start build up, and you're gonna see, okay, so I have some soil coming in here. Cool, looks good. But I want to keep it as flat as I can, and you want to keep it a full voxel thick. So a full voxel is one entire little polygon. So I don't know if you can see this right here. See that little bit right there? That's a little bit larger. So I'm going to try and get an area that's True Flat, and I'm just gonna play with it, and I'm gonna try to do it with the speed that I currently have set. So as you can see, I have this little area right here. It's kind of highlighted a little bit. I'm gonna try to get that as flat as I can as best that I can. So I'm just going to use this right here. I'm going to go off of that. I'm going to see what it looks like. I'm going to take it out. Okay, so I can see it's sloping. You can see that it's sloping up. Actually, you know, that doesn't look the worst. That's not the worst thing I've ever seen, actually. But you can see it's not quite now. I mean, maybe it is. Actually, that really doesn't look terrible. That doesn't look terrible. I'm not positive that this is it, though. In all actuality, I don't think it is. Maybe it is. Okay, let's go out. Let's go out this way and let's see what it looks like. How do you look? Okay, it's starting to thin out. So you can see right here, I'm placing it. It looks like it's starting to thin out a little bit on the outside. Yeah, it's starting to thin out a little bit. It's not quite right. That doesn't look right to me. So we're gonna pull this back off because, like I said, it's starting to thin out a little bit. But you gotta kind of find the natural occurring layers of the voxel grid, because there's essentially a grid. You can kind of tell right here. You can kind of see this line. That's like the grid. That's where the majority of the things are. You know, like majority of the voxels are gonna fall within that grid. And that's what's actually gonna get your ability to do like true flat stuff. Now, like I said, I'm gonna try to do this at 1 speed. Now, when I did this before, I did not do this at the 1 speed. I did this at like extremely slow deform speed, extremely slow, because it's very, very finicky. But once you get your first little bit, that's when life becomes a whole lot easier. All right, so this one actually looks fairly close. I don't think it's quite right, because I could see that little tiny bit right there. If I could, I would drop my terrain tool speed down a hair, just ever so slightly. But I can't. I'm not going to do that, because I'm going to try to get it without doing that. But you can see it's just barely off. I mean, it looks pretty darn good, but it's just not quite there yet. All right, so I'm just going to move to a different area. I'm going to move over here. We're going to look around. We're going to see if we can do this on just a regular area over here. Now, one thing about true flat is the voxel grid is going to be the levelest at the poles, North Pole, South Pole, because think of the planet, and then think of it as a giant cuboid, and that's where the voxels are going to naturally kind of sit. When I say true flat, you can get true flat anywhere, but it won't be level, if that makes sense. And also the augment, the terrain analyzer, or the alignment mod does not help very much. It doesn't. I know people are going to comment. It's probably gonna be the top comment. Why don't you use the terrain analyzer? It really doesn't work very well. It doesn't work that way. We all wish that it did, but it does not, unfortunately. All right, so this one's clearly wrong, because you can see this line right here, that nice sharp line. That's where the top of it needs to be. It needs to be just a bit lower, so you can get an idea. That needs to be the top, and that needs to be the top. So I would need to square it off a little bit. So that's exactly what I'm trying to do. Now, if I go into my terrain tool and change my deform speed down to like a little teeny tiny bit, it's much easier to get to that point. So like that already looks pretty good. Bring up the back a little bit, because you can kind of see these little triangles right there moving around a little bit. Bring it down. That might be, no, it needs to be up just a hair more. So when I drop the deformation speed down to a little teeny tiny bit, basically I just kind of go around this corner, make it look level on this corner. Now, this isn't supposed to be a full tutorial on like how to do this. I just kind of want to show you like what it is and why it's important. Let me just go ahead and put this back at 1. Fantastic. And I think this is it right here, to be honest. Like, if that's not it, it's pretty darn close. So in creative, it's not, I mean, it's still, you have to get the initial true flat done. You have to, like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You've got to get the right one. It's like, this still isn't quite right. It needs a little bit further adjustment, but let me just show you what all the exciting things are. So basically, I mean, that's the basics of it. I'll try to make it a more in-depth video of actually getting the true flat. I want to play with it a little bit more, because like I said, I've only played with it to the point to where I've gotten here. So let me show you all the fun stuff you can do. Also, I mean, obviously you can do this kind of stuff where you place platforms within the ground and it makes them all look super nice and fancy. But to get all of this stuff going, you basically have to get this guy going. And to get this guy going, well, you just got to come up a level. So that one is very similar in the what we were doing over there, except I know for a fact that this is true flat. I know for a fact it is, because it follows everything. It doesn't lift off anywhere. There's no additional little voxel things coming out anywhere. And basically, I just started placing soil down until I got to a nice like little rectangular area. So I kind of just worked it a little bit, got, you know, looked for the lines, because like you can see the different polygons, all that fun stuff, and just worked it. And then eventually you'll get to your second little true flat area. Like this could be one. I don't think it is. Yeah, no, that's not one. Not even close, man. Actually, it was closer than I thought it was. You do the same thing again. I'll probably try to make a dedicated video on that. Again, linked down below to Brozo. He does like all amazing stuff. But what you can do after you find that, so after you get your initial true flat, that's the hardest part. Getting this second one, like this guy, not nearly as hard, because you already have a true flat surface. You already know what you're going off of. You know the levels that it has to be at. And then the thing about true flat is, once I found this, I have this area, right? I can grab it and I can just bring it out wherever I need to, and boom, I'm now making true flat again. And you can see how it's placing. Now, if you're having issues with it not placing like this is what we kind of call like it's snapping and making the correct correct shapes. You need to adjust your terrain tool. And like I said, having it out to speed of 1, because I think that's the standard setting, and that's probably the setting they are tweaking with. That's gonna get to do this like snapping deal, that snapping bit. And why is this important? Well, as soon as you get this one, you're gonna keep one spot that's completely, just leave it alone. Once you get it, have a spot, leave it alone, go build your base somewhere else. Just bring it with you. Well, don't go too far away, because then you can make things like this. This is the infinite staircase. And essentially all this is I brought a true flat deal, brought it over here, made it a little rectangular bit, like so, and then flatten this all out, because I don't really care about it. I don't need it. You can go along the edges. You can make it look all fancy and nice again. Ta-da! And then you bring this up right here, bring this side up right here, and voila, you have an infinite staircase. Now, why is this important? Why do we even care about the infinite staircase? Well, you know how much of a pain that was, right? Like you get the first one and then you have to get a second one. Imagine if you wanted to go up like 3 or 4 levels. Well, guess what? By doing this, look what you now have. True flat on that level, on the next level, on the level after that. You could bring out this one right here, and guess what? You have a true flat surface 3 levels higher, 4 levels higher, as high as you want. Look at that. That's flat. That's flat. These are flat. Everything's flat. Everything's flat. It's amazing. So that's why this guy is super important. That's very handy to have. Very handy. And then, of course, your base that you just don't touch. Just leave it alone. Once you have one, once you have a base, just leave it alone. Now, you get into the other things. You get into structures, buildings, things like that, all the fun stuff. Now, this doesn't work quite as well as it did originally, and I feel like they're going to tweak it along the way. But you can basically start building nice flat walls for your buildings, and it's not too bad. All I did to get that flat wall over there was I literally dug up like that, went through here, grabbed this guy, flattened it out. Now, you may want to use your like narrow mods or whatever. You might want to use that, because it's super handy, makes things a little easier. But basically I just went through here, kind of flattened this up a little bit, and played with it. I'm like, okay, that looks, you can see obviously that's too that's too thick. It's bulging out a little bit. I'm gonna move it up. I just want to kind of play with it, touch it. Not quite right yet. Playing with it, flatten this guy back out, keep playing with it. And then eventually you will find a nice, so that's sticking out just a little too far. I want to bring that guy back in. Not far enough. Bring it back out. Too far. I'm going to flatten right here. I'm going to try to get it so it has a nice little 90-degree on it. How's this guy look right here? Probably too much. Probably too much, but we can play with it. Bring that guy up. Let's see. What do we got? What do we got here? Now, once you get something that's relatively close, this is another snapping thing. Once you get something that's relatively close, you're gonna see it's gonna poop. That guy right there just popped in. Didn't touch it, didn't do anything. I can already tell it's too big. I can already tell like it's not quite right. But I'm just gonna keep playing with it. And yeah, see, it's just not quite there. Play with this some more. What do we got? Still not quite right. Can we flatten it out a little bit? Oh darn, I think I had it right there. Still not. Nope. What was this guy? Was this guy we were playing with originally? Probably. How's this guy now? But basically, it allows you just to play with things and get up. See that right there? I think we got it. Because it's snapping these pieces in. And before, it would snap them in and they'd be perfect every time. Well, now they're not usually perfect every time, but they're close. They're very close. Let's see how this guy looks. Is this guy actually a 90-degree wall? I don't know. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. I would say that's a 90-degree. Wonderful. Now, the trick with corners. Okay, because, you know, you're going to have to go around a corner, right? I think it's easier for me just to have a corner that has two. Like that. What I mean by two is it's like two little triangles or three triangles, depending on how you look at it. And just grab your corner, bring it. Oh, geez, what just happened? I grabbed the wrong corner, apparently. I grabbed the wrong one. Grab your corner, bring it over, and it's going to snap. It's going to throw in a piece right there at a perfect 45, but also going straight up and down. Just gotta be careful. Boom, done. See that? That piece just came in there. Spawned in. Fantastic. So I'm going to grab it, and I was going to take it straight up. Is that right? Well, I'll let you be the judge of that one. It looks pretty good to me. So we'll go ahead and flatten that guy back out. Now, if you already have a wall on the other side, cool, off to the races. But essentially, you just do the same thing. Kind of add it. I'm trying to like make it so you can actually see what's going on here. Kind of just add a little bit. And wait for it to pop. Pop. Oh, too far. Too far. All right, so I'm just going to try it again. Let's try to wait for it to pop. I just want just the pop. That's all I want. Boom. There it is. Now, that's not quite right, but it's going to get you in the ballpark. Now, you don't always have to take this bottom one. Look at that one right there. That one looks almost better. Let's take that one and see what it is. Is that right? Is that it? It's it? Look at that. So you just got to play around with it, and the more you play with it, the more you'll realize, the more you'll know, like, oh, that's it right there. And you'll notice, guess what? It just lined up perfectly with that other perfect wall. Ooh, hold on a second. This one doesn't look so great. Maybe it didn't line up perfectly. Let's play with this one some more. Let's see if we can't smooth her out. And if you start seeing some, if the surface starts getting wonky, just kind of play with it, work it out. It'll probably be all right. But yeah, look at that. Now we have a little teeny tiny square building. I haven't messed with roofs yet, and I will get to roofs eventually, but I'm not even gonna worry about them right now because roofs are basically have to do the exact opposite of this. Now, if you wanted to do something, let's say you want to do something a little bit different. Let's say you want to go this way with it, right? Like, well, what if I want a wall that goes like that? You should, in theory, be able to use the same principle that you've been using the whole time. All right, so that looks pretty good. Nope, not quite. Let's go ahead and smooth that out. How's that look? All right, that looks good. Should, in theory, be able to use the same principle. Let's go ahead. Let's try it. Again, I haven't tried this yet, so hopefully it works semi. And I literally am just going to wait for it to pop on the other side. Boom. There it is. I'm going to take it up. I'm going to go over another one. Just like that. And then I'm going to bring it down. I'm going to pop, let it pop again. Hey, come on. Come on. Come on, you know it. You know you want to go. Come on. Nope. Almost. That's a 90 though. That's a 90. So that'll, I mean, that's handy. Come on. Come on, buddy. Come on, you want to? Oh, come on. So close. I don't know if this one is going to want to pop or not. Might not want to. We might just have to go in here. We might just have to try to find our 90 again. Which is not the end of the world. It's much easier to find once you already, have it somewhere and you've done it before. All right, so let's see. I added some soil in here. Still is just not quite there. It doesn't look quite right. Let's go ahead and take that guy back a notch. We'll grab this corner. We'll bring it out. We'll see what it looks like. All right, we'll play with this corner now. See what it looks like. That looks pretty good. How does it line up over here, though? I would say it lines up... I can't really see it very well. I'd like to see it a little bit closer. I think maybe we're good. How's that looking? Not too shabby. I think we're pretty close to a wall. Oh gosh, I gotta fix this one now. Perfect. I mean, you know, a little finagling, but we're getting there. We're getting there. So you can do walls like that, and then look at that. You have a nice little 90-degree turn right here. You can make roads. You can do whatever you want. But I think ultimately the best part about all this stuff is these platforms, because I can grab any platform I want. I can go into my backpack. Well, I go to my backpack now, but I grab this guy. I'm like, cool. And typically what I do with it, and you guys know that when like lining up platforms is the bane of my existence. I can basically grab one of these guys, bring it over here, and let's just get a nice little true flat area going right here. Cool. So I'm gonna say, where would I want this platform? Let's just say I'm gonna want it like right in here somewhere. Okay, I can just go ahead, I can grab this, bring the true flat over, and I can line it up to the outside kind of. So it's like, okay, cool. Let's say, you know what, I need a little bit more in like that. Now I'm not going to put the soil right here, but what I'm going to use is I'm going to use this straight line to line up my platform to be approximately where I want it. Now if you want to have it like in a certain corner, you can bring your true flat out, boop, just like that. It's like, all right, you know what, that looks a little off. I'm going to bring it over here, and you can get it kind of set up to where you want it. Now it might be a little finicky actually getting it straight. Looks good enough. But then all you do is take your true flat and you just go right across it. Can make sure you do your connections and stuff like that first, if you can. If not, you can always add them later. It's not hard. But yeah, then it's like, cool, my platform, it's nice and set. I like it. It's good where it's at. You can go through the outside and just clean up the edges. It's like, you know what? Let's throw a little thing in there. Have about right here. Maybe do a little another indent right there. Maybe an indent right there. Make it look super fancy. You know, I don't know, whatever you like, I guess. And it's like, never mind. I want it a little bit out, a little bit more, just like that. Perfect. But yeah, like all the fun things you can do just because of the true flat and the mechanics and the way it works. So I am super excited this is back. This is absolutely amazing. It's a huge deal, and there's gonna be a lot of people that are very excited about it, myself included. And let's talk about this one real quick, because I know people are gonna comment. They're gonna be like, well, how did you do that one? Okay, so we're gonna grab our true flat. We're gonna bring it over here, and I'm gonna find the area that I want to put it in. Now you're gonna have to put this one like a little bit forward, because what you're gonna do is this guy, those are at 45, so you're gonna be placing this pretty much exactly on here, but you're gonna dig down here. I have to clear out a nice area for this guy to sit on. So clear out a nice big area, put a nice solid 45. Looks good. Can't even see anything that I dug, but it's fine. We're gonna dig it out so we have room for the platform to actually go into. Wonderful. I'm gonna clean this up again, make sure it's good, make sure we have room for our platform to sit on. That looks pretty good. All right, and then I'm gonna bring it in here. And I set it down. Now, this is kind of finicky, because depending on what you have underneath, it can do that exactly. You might have to play with it a little bit, because it depends. It's just kind of weird. It is what it is. If it keeps doing it over and over and over, you might want to go through and just keep adding a little bit more soil. Go through, add some more down, kind of clear it out a little bit. All right, so let's give that guy a try right there. How's that? Not too bad. And then just to level it off, you're gonna have to like rotate it. And once you get it, oh gosh, no, I was kind of close. We'll say that looks good. Cool. Grab your true flat that you're working on, and guess what? There you go. Good to go. No problem. Now you can, like I said, you can connect power. You can do all the stuff. You can do all the standard stuff, all the standard platforming stuff, and then you can get rid of this guy. And look at that. You have a beautiful flat little storage area that's conveniently underground and level. I mean, is that not fantastic? Is that not fantastic? It's absolutely fantastic. But yeah, alrighty guys, so that's a quick little update video. Now I'm gonna play with true flat some more, and I'm gonna try to get things figured out, and I'll probably come back, try to make like a little how-to video, because I know I didn't do the best job explaining on how to actually get the true flat. I just kind of wanted to showcase it more than anything. But once I get it figured out a little bit more, I'll be back. We'll make another video. We'll try to get things figured out. But yeah, until next time, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I will see you in the next one. Also, like and subscribe the video if you haven't already. Also, special thanks to the Patrons for supporting the channel. Alrighty, guys, you have a good one.